Okay, y'all, I want y'all to take a look at this video, and after it's done,
I'd like to address the way my Republican colleagues are attempting to co-opt the phrase two-tiered justice system to make it sound like Trump and his cronies are somehow the victims here, when the reality is that the term two-tiered system of justice is meant to refer to the very real system that exists in the United States and which affects black and brown folks, not powerful former presidents and their political allies. The real two-tiered system of justice is one in which, in 2021, according to the DOJ's Bureau of Justice Statistics, the imprisonment rate for black men aged 18 and 19 was 11.6 times the rate for white males. The real two-tiered justice system is one in which, in 2021, according to those same statistics, the imprisonment rate for Native American males aged 18 and 19 was 5.1 times the rate for white males. The two-tier justice system is one in which, according to a May 2018 Vera evidence brief, and I quote, black men comprise about 13% of the male population, but about 35% of those incarcerated. 1 in 3 black men born today can expect to be incarcerated in his lifetime, compared to 1 in 6 Latino men and 1 in 17 white men. The two-tiered justice system is one in which an analysis of nearly 100 million traffic stops across this country found that black drivers were about 20% more likely to be stopped than white drivers. My Republican colleagues seem to think that using criminal law as a weapon or a political tool is objectionable only when directed against someone who should be out of reach of the criminal system, someone too rich, too powerful, or too white to be charged. But let's face it, that same system has been used as a weapon and a political tool against black people since the Emancipation Proclamation. These racial disparities are rooted in a two-tiered view on race. The belief that black people were inferior, that was created to justify the enslavement of black people, which has now evolved to include the belief that black people are more prone to criminality. During the decades of lynchings that followed enslavement, white people defended the torture and murder of black people as necessary to protect property, families, and a way of life from black criminals. In 1980s, Nixon's war on crime evolved into Reagan's war on drugs, and we saw harsher and more frequent punishments and the start of mass incarceration. In both cases, it was black people who were targeted and suffered under those policies. There's a reason that crack cocaine, which carries a stereotype of being used by black people, was at one point punished far more harshly than powder cocaine. Prior to 2010, that ratio was 100 to 1, meaning someone convicted in a federal court of possessing crack cocaine will receive the same sentence as someone who possessed 100 times more powder cocaine. And I want to say that PA's extreme sentencing practices have overwhelmingly impacted people of color, but most specifically black people, who make up less than 11% of the population in Pennsylvania, but more than 65% of those serving life without parole sentences and 58% of those serving non-life sentences of 20 years or longer. How many times have our elected officials and judges ran on a promise of a tough on crime approach? Even now, Republicans still tout that they are the party of law and order, while in the same breath claiming that Donald Trump should not be prosecuted. Don't get it twisted. Republican efforts to use the term two-tier justice is to distract from those who are truly the victims of a disparate treatment in our criminal justice system. And whether we say it out loud or not, we all know who those people are. I yield the remainder of my time.
Greetings. Okay, I got about 5 minutes and 20 seconds to lay this down. It's in order to stitch it with, what I have existing for a total of 10 minutes. So I haven't had any time to prepare any speech today because I'm busy grinding. But listen, I really got to weigh in on everything that lady just said, because everything she said, I don't agree with everything, but regarding to the two-tier system and, how, black and brown people are treated as opposed to how white people are treated, and then connecting that to the Jason Aldean type situation. And here's what I think about it. People, although I said, the people in rural well, suburban America or all across America, those people that hold those high moral conservative values that I spoke about, which are pretty decent in my opinion, and I salute them for that. And I salute them for wanting to preserve that, because nobody should be looking forward to anything like that coming to a hood near them. And I think they have the right to express that, even if it's some kind of little code between them, whatever. Even if it is racist, you know, we know that everybody ain't like that. Whatever. If you live life, you know that even if you're really really racist, that somewhere somebody out there, some black person had some type of good impact on your life, and vice versa, everybody. So what we need to do is stop the bullshit and realize that there's a government agenda to make sure that we stay apart from one another. They keep us divided so that they can have their way with all of us. So let's embrace the higher thing. But believe it or not, that ain't even my point. My point is with those people in those suburban with the conservative values, you able to sit up high up on the hill, perched wherever you are, and judge city folks and BLM folks and like kind of say, oh, those guys are savages or whatever. But whoever's living those comfortable lives wherever you are, that those people that you see wiling out like that, that's the byproduct of and this video about this lady and the shit that she talked about, two-tier system, that's the byproduct of you guys getting to live as comfortable as you are in, whatever. Like, the real world is going on, and these motherfuckers is getting arrested, and we have to face violence from one another, and from you guys and the system. You have no idea what black and brown people have to go through. So like, the shit is real, and we need to have some real conversations, and the truth really needs to be told. And we need to stop being so damn politically correct and sit down at a table or whatever in each other's faces and have our little discussions, and you tell your side of the story, I tell my side of the story in front of everybody, and we see who wins the argument. But right now we got a bigger threat. There's a whole coherent negative force out there that seeks to keep humanity divided so that they could have their way with us. You know what I'm saying? And you got to have the courage within yourself that when you see somebody spreading that filthy garbage about, like, resist the urge to indulge racist rhetoric and racist thoughts or any negative thought at all. And let's fucking, the country is collapsing. This shit ain't coming back. It ain't worth investing in. We need to start a new system, with all of our input, because I didn't sign the social contract. I'm not a part of it. I'm outside of that. I'm operating in the private. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm just coexisting with y'all, because I'm somebody that knows myself and I know the truth. And, I could never go back to any level of conformity. And that's what they're leading us towards. They say that in a few years that we're going to own nothing and we're going to be happy. Well, how they know that? You know what I'm saying? Do you agree with that? You going to be happy? Like, we see the trajectory that this is going on. We need to take our country back, our world back. This needs to be our number one priority. You guys wake the fuck up and take this seriously. After we do take this seriously and we get everything back, then we can have our fun, okay? So I gotta go because I want to be able to stitch this with the other videos. One love, stay up, cover your 6. 1.